Okay everyone, so now we are learning the OSI model, and we know that OSI model is the open source interconnection model, which is very much popular, and it is having the 7 layers. Today I am taking the example of the Facebook. So with the help of Facebook we are going to learn the OSI model. First of all, we are aware that on the top we are having the user. That means with the application layer, user is going to interact. And on the physical layer, we are having the wire, transmission medium. Now, this is the same significance that we are having a computer. On the side of computer, we are having the user at the side, which is looking into the system, and from the system, the wire is going. So the whole functionality between the user to wire, here the OSI model works into the picture. Means from the system what you are viewing and from the wires where the bits are going. So total OSI model comes into the picture. Now let us suppose that user is watching the system. So we know that if you have opened the Facebook, because I'm taking the example of Facebook to make you learn the OSI model. Whenever we are going to open the Facebook page, obviously the first page is displayed. So this is our first page. Now on this first page, first of all, they are asking for the user ID and password. They are saying give us the user ID and password so that we can enter inside. Okay. And to reach that user ID and password, first of all, we are going to enter the URL. URL we know that www.facebook.com. That means the URL which is coming, that is the part of application layer. Then afterward, the user ID and password asked by the Facebook, that is authentication. So authentication is the part of application layer. And whenever you are going to enter inside the Facebook, then they are having certain permissions. Just like you can append your own account, but you cannot delete anybody else's account. You cannot delete anybody else's image. So that is the authorization. So authentication, authorization, these are the part of application layer. Then obviously, whenever you are going to see Facebook, the page, very first page, you will see so many images present over here, very good graphics. You know that system works on 0 and 1 normal bits. So obviously, whatever you are watching, that is a virtual. Virtual means it is not real. So we can say that it will provide the network virtual terminal. So network virtual terminal is provided. Now with the help of Facebook, you can share the images, you can send the data. So that means file service or the directory service. These are all the part of application layer. We know that everything inside the graphics is the protocol, because you know that if I am sharing the file, FTP works. FTP stands for file transfer protocol. If I am opening a web page, then we are opening HTTPS, then afterward www.facebook.com. So these URL are also the part of protocol. So all the protocols are taken care by the application layer. So with the help of the very first example of Facebook, we have learned that application layer is responsible for authentication, authorization. It provides the network virtual terminal, file services, directory services, protocols, and the URL. So these are the parts of the application layer. Now we are going to move further. We will take the same example to make you understand. So firstly, we have learned that we have just opened the first page of the Facebook by entering the URL. We have entered the user ID password, watched the images. That's it. Now afterward, what is going to happen? You have seen that in the Facebook, we have logged in. There is an option of chat. That means on the corner, you can see that there is a chat option. Now there we can put that chat. We can write the thing and other person can see it. Obviously, that chat nobody can read. So there is some kind of encryption. So that encryption is taken care by presentation layer. So encryption is done by the presentation layer. Then let us suppose that you have opened the Facebook in the mobile and I have opened into the system. Now both are having different graphics. As per the graphics of system, it is going to adapt. Maybe at your end you are using some high graphics, so or maybe at my end I'm using some less graphics. So compression, that means compression also takes place. So compression of data is also done with the presentation layer because they are going to present you. Presentation means presenting on the screen. And also there are some syntax and semantic. Syntax and semantic stands for the rules. Well, everything we are learning is a rule. Let us suppose that you and me are chatting. Now, we have the rule that if I put the dot, hello dot, that means ending because we are sending the English language. Let us suppose we are saying how are you question mark. So there are some rules for sending. So the rules which are decided during the chat is the taken care by presentation layer. Now let us suppose that we were chatting. We both are just friends and chatting with each other. You said hello, I said how are you, and fine and going on. In between, network goes. You know that if the network goes, your chat remains same. So that chat remains same. How? Because there are the checkpoints. Let us suppose that we are chatting. This is our chat box of Facebook. They are saying hellos, how are you, then fine, okay. Now everywhere they are going to place the checkpoint automatically, checkpoint. So if the network lost, it will remain till the last checkpoint. Okay, so that checkpoint creation is done by the session layer. Now those checkpoints are created from the session layer. And also syncing, you know that we are chatting and you are also having the same thing. Let us suppose if I am starting typing, you will get the information I started typing. So what is that? Because it is synchronized. So that synchronization is done by the session layer. Well, the session layer also provide the session means because you know that how much time you can use that data. Going to the transport layer. Now, supposingly this is your system and this is my system. We both are having the system. Now, you are the user 1, I am the user 2. You are sending the data and I am receiving it. And there is a line wire there. In that particular wire, there may be some devices, but I am not taking right now. We said synchronization. So, system to system. Let us suppose your system is C1 and my system is C2. I said if I am typing, you are aware. And if you are typing, I am aware because typing is written. Okay. Now, this is because these two systems, C1 and C2, are synchronized. Synchronized in terms of means all the errors are immediately checked and corrected. So if I talk about the main system, means your system and my systems, they are in sync. That is because of the error correction and detection. So transport layer is responsible for that. That is going to do error control and flow control. Means how much data that will flow, that is the flow control. Error control, if error come, it is going to detect it. Then next one is the network layer. Now we both are chatting with each other. Let us suppose that the same example I am opting. Now this is your system and this is my system. Assuming the same example C1 and C2. Now we are going to the deeper level. This is user 1, which is you. This is user 2, which is me. You are sending, I am receiving. But now I'm going minutely. Minutely means there are some kind of routers are placed. You know that we are not the VIPs that we are having the straight line between you and my network. Maybe you are in Delhi, I am in Gurgaon. So in between there are so many devices which are placed. So let us suppose that these are the devices and there are n number of possibility, means there are a number of connection between the devices like this. Okay. So devices, these are the routers which are connected like this in your city and my city. Now, network layer says that routing. We both are using the Facebook, but from where our data will go, that is called the routing. Let us suppose that at this time, the shortest path which is followed, you are sending the data. So from it is going like this, and this is the shortest path which is taken by the network. So this path which is decided, this is taken care by the network layer, means from which path it is going to go. So that is called the routing. So network layer come into the picture. Now our data is moving. Further, I am taking the data link layer. To understand the data link layer, I am again taking the same example. Let us suppose that you are having the system C1. Same example I am opting. And I am having the system which is C2. User 1 is here, which is you. User 2 is here, which is me. You are sending, I am receiving. Now in between, I have told you that many devices are there. Let us suppose that these devices which we have opted for sending the data, I am taking only those devices. If system to system are synchronized, obviously these devices should be synchronized, means the router is synchronized, means the data is coming and data should be going out. Similarly, all the devices, data is coming, data is going out. Okay, similar for this device, means all devices should be synchronized and error and detected and flow should be controlled. So the same task data link layer is doing, that is error correction, or we can say that error control and flow control. So you can see that transport layer is doing the same task and data link layer is doing the same task, but transport layer is doing on computer to computer level and data link layer is doing on the devices level, means devices are checked for error and flow control. And the last one we are having is the physical layer. Now at the end, our data is moving from the wires. Now from the wires, what are the topology? Means how the systems are connected. So that is decided by the physical layer. Like if I say it is bus topology, star topology, then afterward, which mode we are going to use? Mode means it can be simplex, half duplex or full duplex. Simplex means I can only send the data, but I cannot receive it. Then half duplex means both can send the data but one at a time. If I am speaking, you cannot speak. If you are speaking, I cannot speak. Then there is the full duplex. Full duplex mode means both can communicate at the same time. Just like today mobile phone, both are talking at the same time. And also at which data rate data is sending, that is also taken care by the physical layer. So these are all the layers and they are having their duties. Now the important thing is physical layer deal with the bits, means the bits are coming 0 and 0 1 are coming at the physical layer. Now data link layer is going to convert all those bits into the frame. So now that frame is bits are combined to make the frame. Now frames are combined to make the packet. Packets are there in the network layer. Now packets are combined and make the segment. Now these are further combined and synchronized and further sent. So with the help of the Facebook example, we have learned the basic functionality of the OSI model and their layers. And this OSI model is very much popular, but the first model which was implemented was the TCP/IP model.